Hello people, superhero motivation over here. Today I hold my podcast about try again. I can't imagine when you fail, you'd give up. You only give up when you say, okay, I quit and I'll never try again. I can't imagine it. When I start with school and I fail a test, you will retry, right? You make the test again because you know you're going to finish the test because you want the points. Because if you get the points, you go to the next year. A lot of times, when you start with an education, the education may take like 4 years. For some people, it may take 7 years. Why would you give up? Try again. Try again. In this life, we have so many attempts to pass the test. Everything in our life is a test. We try again. I'm not talking about school. I'm talking about career. Or I talk about your dreams. When things is not your time, you have to wait. You have to be patient. And a lot of times we are not having the patience. We are not going to wait. Why? Because you want fast. A lot of viewers are impatient. Because why? Because they cannot wait to be on the first row. They want to be in the front row to see the first result. The same when people request things. Hey, you haven't answered me yet. But people don't realize there are like 1,000 people in front of them. You realize you're not the only one, right? You're not the only one who is not being patient. You're fighting for the same seat. You're fighting for the same seat on the front row. You realize you're not the only one. Like the world is yours. Be patient. Be patient at all time. When you think you pass the test in one time, who says you pass the test in one time and not 4 times? Try again. People give up because they don't believe in themselves anymore. People don't believe in themselves because they think they cannot do it. They demotivate themselves. They listen too much to other people. Why? Because they hear the voices in their head. They listen to the voices in their head. Stop listening to these voices that say negative things. Be positive. Focus on the positive things of the process. You're not there yet. And still people focus on the end result. Why are you focused on the end result when you start? When you start. Start with the process. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the results of the process. People are too focused on the end result. They see a car, they see a house. They focus on the end result. They hope to graduate, they already focus on the certificate. Yeah, I see the diploma, yes. But wait. You have to wait for 4 years till you get the diploma. But first, enjoy the process. Enjoy the progress you make. Patience. People are asking all the time, when it's my turn. I don't know. When it's my turn, still with the same with the request. I get like 1,000 messages. When it's my turn, you haven't answered me yet. People don't realize you have other things to do. Is that the only thing in your life you're waiting? Is that the only thing you're waiting for, one video? where you get an answer, well, I ask myself, how do you spend your time? How do you spend your time to try again? Do you use the time to prepare for the next attempt? Are you using the time to give up? I don't understand. Why would you not use your time to prepare for the next attempt? Why would you not use your time to see how you succeed in the next attempt? Why wouldn't you use your time to see, do a research, what is needed to succeed? Try again to see what works. Try again to see what didn't work. Isn't that how you look back at your life? Ask questions. Most of the time, I'm the one who asks questions. But I don't understand when people ask me things. I answered you. I asked you a question. But then, people will never ask more questions for clarity. Wouldn't you ask more questions to clarify? When you don't understand things, you have to ask questions. How am I going to do this? What is needed to do this? How can I get a positive result? How can I stay positive even if I'm not positive? Ask questions. If you don't understand, you will always have to ask questions. Otherwise, you're just arrogant. You're just arrogant because you look down at the person who's teaching you. Most of the time, people don't understand who is in front of you. Maybe it's a teacher. Maybe it's a professor. Maybe it's an artist. Maybe it's a dancer. Maybe it's a director. Maybe it's a boss. Maybe it's an investor. Maybe it's a network. So people underestimate. When they ask questions, you ask the right person, you get the right answer, you get the right tips, you get the right advice. Why don't you ask a professional where you need help? Why would you ask a random neighbor, a friend or relative or a family who doesn't know balls? I don't understand why would you ask someone with no life experience or no knowledge, not the right knowledge. Okay? So that's the problem of humankind. You make your choice how to prepare to try again. Try again to meet the right people, to make the right decision, to get the right information, ask the right questions, to try again what works in life. So that's why I can't imagine that we don't give up. That's how life works. Let me be realistic. If I have people in my life and I give an advice, how you can try again, and you don't listen. At least I tried. At least I tried to help this person. At least I tried to give you an advice. But if you don't try it because I have said it, it's your own fault. But if you tried it and you listen to my advice, very good. But what I want from people, understand you have to believe in yourself. Once you believe in yourself, you give yourself confidence. When you see things work, it gives you confidence. If you see something work step by step, you enjoy your process, you see progress, it gives you confidence. And every time when you're almost ready, you say, okay, man, I'm almost ready. I'm almost done. I'm almost getting to the end result where I want to be. I'm getting somewhere. Isn't something you want to see, okay, this is where I have worked for. This is my life work. This is where I have put my energy and my time. This is how I spend my hours to prepare for the next step. Isn't that you say to yourself, this is where I have worked for to prepare for the next step, and that's why I try again. I hope you enjoy the podcast. See you in the next podcast. Goodbye.